Okay, welcome back to FPL Power 5. Here we go. All right, so what we're going to do today is we're going to do FPL goalkeepers basically below 5.0. FPL goalkeepers, Power 5, top 5, below 5.0. Basically meaning 4.5s, right? So these are the 4.5s because there's no 4.7s or 4.8s yet. This is basically saying, you're not really looking to spend that premium money on Allison and Ederson. And Ramsdale, Mendy, Pope, all at the 5. You might be right on, right on the edge. Like, what do I do? Which way do I want to go there? So these are going to be the 5 keepers at 4.5 that I would strongly consider if you're not going for one of those premiums. Just jump right in here, guys. Vincent Higuita for Crystal Palace. I think Crystal Palace, with Patrick Vieira as a coach last year, showed up a lot more than people expected. I mean, that team had a backbone last year. You were not pounding them 3-1, 4-0. It wasn't happening. They did not take too many thrashings or beatings. I mean, they lost games, but not just getting destroyed. And I think it's a lot of how they decided to play defense. This is what I'd say about the guy. I don't feel like he's 100% nailed, and I don't know why I say that. I mean, he's been there for a while, and he is their number one. But it did seem like, for whatever reason, I don't know if they were just kind of kicking the tires last year on Butland. But I feel like they did, and I think they have another dude. It's John Stone. So either way, but both of those guys they're flagged. So I don't see any way for Guaita not to be the starter, at least for the first 5 to 10 games of the season. Yes, it's Palace. They always feel like you don't know what to expect with them, right? Like that's how I look at Palace. You never know if they're going to come out and put up a fight or if they're just going to flop and just kind of play a 1-1. But he's only 4.5. He makes saves. I think Palace is a pretty decent team. We'll see what happens this year. I think they've had a little bit of changeover, and we'll see how that goes. So number 5 is Guaita for Crystal Palace. Number 4, I'm actually going. This might surprise you. This might be one of the only Everton players I pick, and it's Jordan Pickford. Look, he's a national team starter for England. He's definitely the club's number 1. He's feisty as all get out. He seems little to me for a keeper. But he's flying, he's punching, right? Like throwing the hair around. I don't love him, but I think that Everton are going to get lit up with shots. Point being there, maybe that's going to obviously decrease clean sheets. I don't even know what I would say 8. Like right now, just like starting out, like Pickford got 8, like that's a baseline. I take it. Anything above that, I think is gravy. Unless Everton and Lampard have a massive turnaround in a short amount of time, but they lost some players too, and they got really young really fast. Which I don't know if that's a good thing. But he makes saves. He shows up. He's fiery, and he's got a lot of pressure on him, right? Like after DCL, after Calvert-Lewin, and maybe even before him, like those are the two faces of the franchise, right? Like that's who you think of. That's who you're looking at. So he's got to step up. Got to be a leader. Got to try and put it all together. God forbid Everton goes down this year. I think Pickford is the type of mentality, though. It's going to be like over his dead body they go down. Maybe they do. He's going to give you everything he's got. So maybe he like pulls out some more saves than expected because they are taking a lot of shots on. Gets some clean sheets. Pulls out some bonus. 4.5, not terrible. And he's going to be there. He's going to play. So that's number 4. Number 3. Robert Sanchez, Brighton, no flash, seems a little stiff, kind of like the Albion defense, right? Like he does not get a lot of saves. He doesn't. And from what I can tell and from what I've been hearing the way Brighton play is, because they don't allow tons of shots. So it's either like it's a great shot, a guy's in on goal and he's probably going to score, or nothing. Very little in between. I do have to say there have been some occasions where I feel like he's almost not that athletic. Like some of these shots, like down low, like I just feel like he struggles getting down sometimes. I'm like, dude, you really couldn't save that? I also feel like maybe I've had him a lot. Definitely last year I owned Robert Sanchez for Brighton a lot. And I feel like Brighton were the kings of 85th and after. There goes your clean sheet. And nothing is worse than watching a match for 87, 88, 89 minutes, and it's only your keeper or defender, clean sheet's intact, stoppage time goal for the other team. Nothing will ruin your fucking day or drive you more bonkers. That shouldn't ruin your day, by the way. It shouldn't ruin. Drives you bonkers for 2 to 3 hours. That's fine. But I do like Sanchez. I think they're going to get 12 to 14 clean sheets. I guess if Cucurella's getting out of there, like maybe that could be a problem. I don't know. I don't know about Brighton, but I don't think that's going to change a lot about how they play defense or how they play. I think Graham Potter's like just slot us in from 14 to like number 8. Like we're going to finish the Premier League somewhere in there. We're going to stay up again. That's what we do. It's what we're about. I like it. Robert Sanchez at number 3. Number 2, let's go Leeds. Let's go Meslier. Now this guy can definitely get you some bonus points. Leeds have been leaky at the back as long as I've known who Leeds in the Premier League was, which since obviously I haven't been playing Premier League for 20 years, I had heard of Leeds. I wasn't super familiar with them. The first year they came up, Bielsa ball. I mean, they were pinging that thing around. Again, let's win. Let's lose 5-4 as opposed to 1-0 or maybe even win 1-0. Right? Like they wanted to fly around. Meslier makes a lot of good saves. Thinks he's a good keeper. They've got some good pieces back there. Ailing. They did lose Phillips, and Stuart Dallas is hurt. But I don't know what to make of Leeds' backline. I do not know enough about their team. Some of these younger guys they brought up on defense to say that they're going to get shelled every game. And I think that Tom March, the coach, might be all right. But Coopers, Llorentes, Cox, Firpo, I mean, they've got some guys, right? Like they've got some guys back there. Ailing, obviously, I can't remember. Oh, Ailing's hurt too. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what shakes out with Leeds. Could be a disaster. But again, he's 4.5. I'd take my chances with him. Could be a little dicey, but hope the best for Leeds and for Meslier. We'll see what he's great. Actually, some of these guys, they're great for daily fantasy picks. In daily fantasy, yes, if you get a win and a clean sheet, your keeper gets 5 and 5. But say you have Ederson, he's not going to make a bunch of saves. Say they just get the win because City gives up a goal. He's only getting you 5 points. Whereas these guys, there's a lot more ways to score in daily fantasy. Maybe it's more like Sky Sports. We're not allowed to play Sky Sports. They won't. It's not active in the States. But I feel like you get way more of a different point scoring system. So he could be good for that. The number 1 FPL Power 5 under 5 or 4.5 keeper, I'm going Raya at Brentford. First of all, I liked him to start the season. I liked him a lot at the end of last season. I don't think Brentford have any plans on going down. I think they're a team that's over our dead bodies. We're going back down. From what I've read about the way they built that team, I think Ben Rama had been there. Maybe Ollie Watkins had been there. And then Tony, their strikers there. So like they even lost some pieces, but it looked like they took the time to build the steps and put them in place to make sure once they got up, they could stay up for a few seasons. I think it's super smart, as opposed to like what Norwich kind of does. You know, Norwich is kind of the yo-yo, right? Up and down. It's got to drive, supporters bonkers. The money you get from being in the Premier League is obviously massive compared. But Brentford in general defensively, I really like what they might do this year. I think they're going to be pretty solid. I actually think bringing Ben Mee from Burnley, I think is a big deal. Like a big deal. Like that guy is just born and bred center back. Like keep it tight at the back, keep everyone in a line, nothing dumb. If you're going to score on us, it's either going to be a worldie or you're going to make some nice moves. We're not giving up anything cheap. We're not giving up anything easy. To go with that, Ryan makes a lot of good saves. He seems like he's a good lieutenant in the back line there, keeps everyone in line as well. Kind of like Sheffield United, that when they kind of got up, kind of hung out for a couple seasons. I kind of feel like they do that with their midfielders and defenders. Like it's almost like, dude, what is each one, right? Like we talked about Sergio Canos in a video. He's now back to a defender. But he does really kind of feel like a midfielder. But I think Jansen's decent. I think Rico Henry's decent. I think they have the defensive ability to not only keep themselves up in the Premier League, but keep themselves in games, maybe squeeze out some wins you don't expect, and definitely get some clean sheets and some bonus points. So those are our FPL Power 5, top 5 goalkeepers that are not basically your premiums, all the 4.5 guys. At number 5, Guaita from Crystal Palace. Number 4, Pickford. Yep, you heard that right. Jordan Pickford from Everton. Number 3, Robert Sanchez at Brighton. Number 2, Meslier at Leeds. And number 1, Raya at Brentford. I dig it. I like those guys a lot. I have honestly toyed with the fact of just going 4.0 and 4.0 and saying screw the goalie, like literally, like save that 5.5 and go Doherty and Perisic, loaded with some 8.0 midfielders and then the offense and then the forwards. But you can't do it. Like I really don't think it's as. I thought it was groundbreaking when I was thinking about it the other day. It's really not. It's really probably a terrible idea. So you're gonna have one of these guys. If you had a spare 5.0, you take a Raya and Sanchez. You play matchups like that might pan out better than people think. Nobody ever really does that, right? Nobody ever really does 4.5, 4.5, and rotate them in and out. Usually because their teams are mid-table to lower table teams, but something I'm toying with in a sense because everyone wants that 4.5 and the 4.0. If with Schmeichel leaving, if the Leicester gets a 4.0 playing keeper, a lot of people will try that out. But it could be something. Could be something that I actually finally try this year if they both have a nice run of fixtures, and I think it's worth a shot. So, but hey, everybody, like, comment, subscribe. Say it sucks. Say it's great. Say the list makes no sense. Say I need to watch more Premier League before making videos. Whatever you want. We don't care. We don't get offended. We dig it. We dig doing some FPL videos. So thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.